Hey, it's Heidi Dawson, and this is Wednesday Wisdom, where I interview wildly successful people from across the world, where we get an inside view into what their daily life looks like. Success leaves clues, and on Wednesdays, we're finding them. Join me now for the latest wildly successful interview. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 112 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. So my next guest is a little Joanna Gaines and a little Cardi B mixed in there. I love that. Her love and her passion for food comes out in her beautiful website and her really yummy looking pictures, but also she has a blog, a food blog, which is really, really good. But we're talking today about her journey to sobriety. She chose a really crazy year, which is the year of COVID, to start her journey. And we talk about that and some of the things that come with it and how she identified that she had a problem, and then also how awesome her life has been since she stopped drinking. So let me introduce you to Ashley. Hi, Ashley. It is so nice to meet you.
Hey, Heidi. It is so nice to meet you as well. And thank you so much for having me.
You are very welcome. I love Kirby, who is why we know you. My little sister and Kirby are really good friends. And Molly actually sent me your video talking about your sobriety and all of that.
Oh,
and
awesome.
I loved it so much. She was like, I think you should interview Ashley for your podcast, because it's all about like people who have either done extraordinary things or are wildly successful in some area of their life. And so I looked at your website, and I have to say it's beautiful. In fact, it actually did make me hungry. The pictures are so good.
Mission accomplished.
Yes. Okay, good. All right. So, but we are going to focus a lot, talk a lot about your journey to sobriety.
Okay.
And I think I'm so impressed you picked a tough year to do it with COVID. I think more people are drinking more, and you stopped drinking altogether. So I'm really, really interested to talk to you. I've got so many questions about that. So I know you probably get a lot of that online because you talk pretty openly about it, right?
Yes, I do. I've been sober. I celebrated 1 year sober February 9th. And it's something that I've been very open about. Although I am a food blogger, it's something that I've kind of weaved into not only my website, but also my Instagram. And I am very open because I wish that, when I was trying to discover whether or not I had a drinking problem, it's just, you feed off of other people's failures and successes. And the fact that some people were willing to share, what they were going through and that they had a problem and how to overcome it and face it, it really, really helped me. So I feel like I owe that to people, to share my story and to share what the successes as well as the struggles. So that's why I'm so open about it.
Well, I'm so glad that you are, because it's something that I like to talk about, because a lot of people, I think over COVID especially, they started drinking more, and so many people are kind of wondering, like, do I have a drinking problem? I mean, that's a question. I think if you drink and if you drink it more than I think once a week or something, I don't even know I hate to even put a number on it, right? So how did you come to realize that there was a problem for you?
So, Heidi, I've known that I had a problem for a long time. It's something that I've struggled with for years. I started drinking as a teenager when I was 17 years old, and not just, here and there. Like I went all in. I was a heavy drinker from the time I was a teenager. And it's always been something I've dealt with. My mom, she passed away 10 years ago because of complications resulting from addiction. And it's just something that's always been in my family, something I've always been around. And you would think that I wouldn't go down that same road, being that I saw where it could lead you, but I did the exact same thing. And it's always something I've known I've had a problem with. I was petrified. I didn't want to admit it. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to feel like I can handle this. I will not be like my mom or, the rest of the people in my family. I can control it. Right. And that's what I kept telling myself, trying to trick myself, but that couldn't have been farther from the truth. So it's something I knew I had a problem with for years. And I finally got the courage to admit that it was a serious problem and do something about it last year. So
Okay, so was there a defining moment? Was there something that where you like, oh my gosh, okay, this is it.
yeah. So the thing is, like, and I found out a lot of people share the same story. You think that, well, a lot of people think when they think of alcoholics and they think of somebody hitting rock bottom, you think, okay, this person, crashed their car, almost killed someone, they lost their job, they went to work drunk. You think of something like
Drastic.
that was
Right.
just, yeah, just outrageous, and it caused them to say, okay, I have to stop, or I'm going to die or something like that. I wouldn't say that I had like one huge thing that happened that made me say, okay, I've got to stop. I felt like I hit rock bottom so many times over the years. And it was just a culmination of me getting tired of my own crap,
Yeah.
tired of treating the people in my life who love me like trash, tired of treating myself like trash,
Yeah.
tired of starting fights with my loved ones, waking up with bruises, blacking out 3 and 4 times a week. It's just getting tired of doing that to yourself. And
Right.
there was the night that I stopped drinking. It was one night my husband and I had gone out to a bar, and we were with a lot of his coworkers, and I acted a complete fool. I don't remember, hardly any of it, but
Right.
I mean, I
Right.
picked fights with him in front of his coworkers. I started something with one of his coworkers, and it was just a huge embarrassment to him, a huge embarrassment to myself, and it had gotten to the point to where I did this every single time I went out.
Okay.
And my husband couldn't even, he was afraid to take me anywhere because he knew that I would, we called it blow up the spot. Like every time he took me
Yeah.
somewhere, I blew up the spot. And it was a shame. And so
Okay.
we got home that night and I was crying and hysterical, just a drunk mess. And he told me, he looked me in my eyes and he said, Ashley, I don't want you to drink anymore. This has to stop. And he's never said those words to me because he's so kind and gentle and supportive. And, he was an enabler for me. And for him to look at me and tell me that, it was like, I've got to stop or I'm going to lose my husband type thing.
Right.
So
Right.
that was
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then you've you've been sober since February 9th of last year. And so how okay, during that year, I mean, were there times where you were like, "Oh my gosh, I want to drink," but you overcame that?
There were times like that in the beginning, just because it was how I coped. It was what I was used to doing. Like I literally didn't do anything without having alcohol in my system. I didn't go for lunch with a friend or with a
Okay.
family member. I couldn't even have a long conversation on the phone with somebody without drinking. It was I couldn't do anything without drinking before. So I felt like that's what I hid behind. That's who I was. I was afraid of who I would be without the alcohol. I was like, I'm gonna be boring. Nobody's gonna want to hang around me, and I just thought that life would just be over. And
Right.
so whenever I found myself doing things where I would normally drink, which was pretty much everything in the
Right.
beginning, it's like I felt like, man, if I just had a glass of wine, I'd feel better, I'd be more relaxed, things like that. But I started to think about what that one glass of wine led to every single time.
Okay.
How it led to me, starting fights with my husband, calling him all types of names, and then waking up the next day with regret and shame. I thought about that every time I wanted to drink. And I knew that that drink was not worth everything that would come after. And
Okay.
so,
So is
yeah,
so that's so that like your thoughts about the actual drinking and what it would do to you is what kept you from having that drink then. So that's important for everyone to think about. Like if and it could be that there are people listening that drink a little bit and think, and it's affecting the way they feel the next day. I
yeah,
mean, so it doesn't have to be where you're to the point to where you're drinking during the day or whatever. It could be that
right,
you might think about it where you drink at night every night and it's affecting the way you feel the next day, so
right.
That's
Yeah,
that could be, I mean, it could be a range of different varying levels of alcoholism. So
I agree.
okay, so your thoughts then, I like that idea. So you kind of replaced, did you replace it with something like instead of drinking
So I
something else?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I never really drank for the taste. Like I would say, like, oh, I love the way red wine tastes or whatever. Like I would say that, but I really didn't. I drank because I wanted to get tipsy.
That feel.
Yeah, I wanted that feeling.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have to replace it in that aspect. But whenever you do have like an addiction or you're obsessed with something, you do replace that with something else. And mine has been, thankfully something good. I replaced it with working out. So now,
Oh
like,
my
I
gosh.
exercise. Yeah, I
Okay.
exercise and work out like a fiend. So,
Yeah,
so
okay, that's huge.
yeah,
That's huge because I know I've read where people that would smoke cigarettes and they would instinctively they would want to put their hand to their mouth, and if
hmm
they would replace it with like a cinnamon toothpicks, and they would put that in their mouth or something like a straw or something, it really helped them kick the habit of where it was just because sometimes it's just all about the habit.
yeah.
I know, and here you said something too, is that you felt like, oh, the thoughts of I'm going to be boring, or people aren't going to want to hang out with me. Did you have to change your friendship groups, or how did that happen? Because I know sometimes that can be kind of difficult.
Yes. So because of, COVID and everything this past year, there haven't been a lot of hasn't been a lot of going out and stuff like that anyway. So in all honesty, it's made it probably a little easier
Wow,
for
I
me.
had not considered
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah. But I have seen friendships change.
Yeah.
I was supposed to meet up with, I mean, friends that I used to drink with, that's what our relationship revolved around. And now that piece has been removed from me, and I don't know what they're thinking, but I'm guessing that, whenever they blow me off or, say, oh, something came up, I can't hang out or I can't meet you for coffee or whatever, something safe, of course. I just think that, well, maybe they they don't want to be around me because they will want to drink, and then they don't want me to feel a certain way. And it's
It's
just been
different.
weird, with some
Yeah.
friendships, but I expected that. So you just kind
Sure.
of roll with the punches. Yeah.
Well, you're probably making, I would venture to say you're making new friends like at the gym. So if you're a workout fiend, all of a sudden you probably just veer towards that anyway. People who have that same desire to work out rather than the desire to drink, you now are hanging out with people that have that same tendency.
Well, the tricky part is my gym is at my home, so
Oh
I
my
don't meet
gosh.
any people.
Okay.
I don't
You're
meet
not missing
anybody.
as
My
much.
only workout partner is my husband.
Oh,
So
that's good. You know what
yeah.
though? That's true. The gyms have been closed too. This is very good. I'm so impressed with that because I do not love to work out by myself at the house. So do you have like a really awesome gym
I
that's
don't have a really awesome gym. I've got like I've got a little bit of equipment. I've got a set of dumbbells. I got like from up to 45 pounds down to 5 pounds, like, each increment in between. So I work out with those. I've got like resistance bands, a little ab roller and stuff like that, just basic stuff. But,
okay?
it works for me, and I've gotten in the best shape of my life. Like I'm in better shape now than I've ever been in my entire life, and I haven't even been to the gym. So
Okay. So what? So these are good benefits. So what are the benefits that you've seen from just completely stopping drinking? Like what? I know there's got to be like just a thousand of them.
yeah, I was gonna say, how much time do you have?
Well,
Like,
we could sit and probably talk about it, but I want to hear about it because
yeah,
I want to hear. I know that it's good.
yes. It's the benefits are, I can't even tell you the mental benefits. I'll start with those.
Okay.
Um, Gosh, I am so much more calm now. Drinking, especially like excessive drinking, it gives you so much anxiety. And people think that, oh, I need a glass of wine because to calm my anxiety, but really that's what's causing it. I'm so much more calm. I have so much more clarity. I can think better. I can sit alone with myself, and I've picked up meditating and all types of things. So the clarity that I've gained mentally it's astonishing. Like I never even knew that your mind could function in this way. I never knew. And aside from that, the physical changes have been freaking crazy. Like I had the worst insomnia forever. And I had no idea that drinking was causing my insomnia. Like I literally could not, it took me like an hour or two to fall asleep every single night unless I drank until I blacked out or passed out.
Mm, okay.
And now I fall asleep within 10 minutes and I sleep throughout the night. It's like the best feeling ever.
Wow.
um Gosh, what else? I generally just, my skin's better.
I was gonna say your skin. I'm sitting
Yeah.
here. People can't see you, but they can hear you. I can see you. Your skin is glowing. I mean, like you glow, and that
Thank you.
has got to be a benefit also, probably from working out and a healthy lifestyle. But also, I mean, I don't think people that drink a lot have that, even a little. I think a little.
No, my skin was horrible when I drank, like from just looking dry and just
That's
parched and
it.
just
Yes, I feel like.
breakouts, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it
Dry.
was horrible. And I just I mean, I just generally just feel better, like in every aspect. I'm not as tired. I have so much more energy. Like you won't believe the energy I have now compared to when I drank.
Yeah.
Like I'm always doing something, working on my blog, working on my brand, working out. Like you can't sit me down, until
Love it.
bedtime. Like
Yeah.
so much more energy.
That's
Um,
so good. And
yeah.
okay, so then I want to cover something else real for a minute, because so many people are so fearful of giving that up. Like they think, and I put myself in there with it. And is that I'm such a lightweight though, like 2 glasses of wine and I'm just a little tipsy. So
Yeah.
so but it's like when people say to you, what would you say to somebody that says, okay, you can't have fun. You just can't have fun if you go out and you're not drinking. But
you you are speaking to someone who thought that exact same thing. Like I swear to God, for as long as I drank, the 17 years that I was a drinker, that's exactly what I thought. I used to look at sober people like they were freaking aliens.
right.
Like I'm like, who is this
I do not even
sober
like you at
non-drinking
all.
person? Yeah. I'm like, get out of here. Like, what?
Yeah.
You're such a bore. Like, did you not come to have fun? Like, why are you not drinking? That's exactly
Yeah.
what I thought.
Oh,
But
I know.
really, those thoughts were a cover for the insecurity that I had. I secretly admired those people and I wondered how they did it. Like, how can you be so comfortable in your own skin and in your own mind to be able to have like an amazing time and without drinking? Like, how?
Right.
And I think it's just that now I can't speak to people who have never drank. I can't speak to that. That's something totally different. But to people who have gotten sober and who have found that you actually enjoy yourself like 100 times more because you're not blacking out. You can remember the conversations you had. You're actually making real connections with people and you're not just connecting over the fact that you're drunk and emotional or whatever, and
Right.
oh, this is my drunk best friend, and then you never speak to him again, that type of thing. You make real connections because
Yeah.
you're having a real conversation based on feelings that you're really feeling. It's not the alcohol making you say certain things or behave a certain way. So I have so much more fun now. I can take it all in now.
Yeah.
Like anything that I do, it's like a total like experience. It's not just, I can't tell you like how many vacations I had and things where I just, got drunk every day. And I want to do all those things over again with the clarity that I have now. I just think that it would be a much, much, much better experience because you're present. You're
Right.
actually taking it in. So it's just, I have so much more fun now. And
You
then
know,
guess
I
what? If you don't want to stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning because that's what you do, what you normally used to do when you drink, go to bed. I mean, I may go to bed early, 12 o'clock. I'm like, all right, guys, y'all stay up and knock yourselves out, but I'm going to bed,
Yeah.
and you wake up the next day feeling fresh as a daisy.
Yeah. See that's exactly. I love to go to bed early, and I think
Mm,
that's true. I mean, if I go to bed early, it's usually, I don't know. So everybody else maybe because they like to stay up late. Now my husband is a late night guy, but he has different hours, so he'll stay up late, but he can also go to bed early, which is really good.
yeah.
I'm an early to bed girl, so I agree with you. I like to get up early, and I like to feel
Yes.
good. And the days when I haven't had a drink, I definitely feel better, than the next day. And I notice my eyes are clearer. If I'll go,
Yes.
I don't, yeah, if you just basically, if I really think about it, the days when I feel the best are the when I haven't drank for a while,
Yes.
so
That's
I hear you on that. Okay, good. Well, whew, it's a lot, but I have heard another podcast. I don't know if you ever listened to Brooke Castillo, her podcast.
I have not.
Okay, she's really good. She's actually the life coach school, and she has a podcast. It's so good. And she used to be same just like you. I mean, she would drink to the point of blacking out, and she hasn't drank
Hmm.
for years. And
Oh, wow.
she's just like, I cannot explain to you how much better I feel. And she doesn't even want to drink. Like she doesn't
Yeah.
even want to drink. How about
Okay.
you?
I don't at all. I
Yeah.
told it was not too long ago, maybe like a week or so ago. I told my husband, I said, you could lock me in a freaking closet with the best wine in the world, and I wouldn't want to take a sip. And
Yeah.
that was my thing. Like red
Wow.
wine was my thing. Like I would go through a box. A box is one of those big like Boda
Yeah.
boxes, and it has 4 bottles of wine in it. Like
Oh
I
my
could go
God.
through that in 2 nights, easy.
I would be dead. They would
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. So
How does your husband feel about all of this?
he has told me so many times, like, this past year has been the best year of our marriage. We'll
Oh,
be
you're gonna
married
make me
5.
cry. I don't think I've ever had to cry on an episode.
I'm so serious. I mean, whenever we talk about it, both of us are like moved to tears, because it's something that we never thought I would be able to do, and it's been the best year of our marriage. He is so supportive. He buys me, like, if he goes to the store, he'll buy me like little sparkling waters and, like, whatever non-alcoholic stuff he finds. And he is literally the best partner I could have asked for in going through something like this. He's just been there for me like every step of the way, and he's so freaking supportive and just amazing. And he tells me, like, this has been the biggest blessing for our marriage and for everything, for my my blog, just for everything. Everything is
Absolutely.
flourishing now. Yeah.
Absolutely. So did your husband drink? Just out of
He
curiosity.
does. He still does. But
Okay.
he's like, I mean, maybe like once a month, he'll
Yeah.
have
Okay.
like one little drink. He's not a big drinker at all.
Yeah,
So
I was just
yeah.
curious. I was just curious about
Hmm.
that. Because you talk about how supportive he is, and the idea that he brings sparkling water. That's something that is nice. Like I had a friend that when he periodically will stop drinking, and when we go to a restaurant or something, he'll order a like a tonic water or a sparkling water with lime,
Yeah.
because it kind of replaces that. So I don't.
Yeah. It's especially like, if you're out with people or something like that and they're drinking, or if you have friends over or family over and they're drinking, then of course, I don't think like I need it, but just to feel like, I'm part of,
Yeah,
whatever's going on
sure.
around me, I'll pour me like a little glass with some sparkling water and a little lime or something, and it's
Yes.
just to have it in your hand.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Yeah, and I mean, it does. It feels, well, we are social animals. I say that all the time.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's not that you need to feel like you fit in to do that, but
Hmm.
it makes everybody festive. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I like it. I
Right.
think it's helpful to have where you replace it with something. I think there's
Yes.
something to that.
Hmm.
So whereas like you said with working out. Okay. So if there's any other questions that come up, I'm trying to think. I think we've talked about a lot of that, and I just want to tell you that I'm very, very impressed, and I
Thank
think
you.
you'll be inspiring to a lot of people, and your story and your video online was very inspiring. So
Thank you
thank
so
you for
much.
sharing it, because that's brave. Not everybody wants to do that. So
Yes. I mean, it can be a little, scary being so open, but
yeah,
I just I just want to help, if I can help one person, I've done
And
something good.
you certainly are, because it's when you see someone accomplish something, it's just like the runner that did the 4-minute mile, everybody said it couldn't be done. It couldn't be done.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
the first one to break the 4-minute mile, like after that, everybody started breaking the 4-minute mile.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
how it
whole
works.
reason is because somebody showed that it could be done, and you're doing it even though it's been COVID and so many people are like, I just have to drink to get through it. You actually just did it because you started before actually COVID lockdowns came in. So
Like
that,
that month before,
yeah.
and when the lockdown started, I was like, I picked a heck of a time to stop
I
drinking, didn't I?
Because when you said February 9th, I was like, oh man, that was even before the lockdown. So you
Yeah.
did this throughout the lockdowns. Okay, I'm so proud of you. I can't even
Thank you
say
so
that.
much.
You're very welcome. You don't need that from me, but goodness, I just am blown away. Okay, I want to talk about your fabulous website. I mean, it's
Oh, thank you.
gorgeous. And you're
Thank you.
so beautiful on the website, and it's seriously really good. The photography is beautiful, and everything looks delicious.
Thank
So how
you.
did you get started? Like, tell me about Pink Owl Kitchen. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Sure. So I started Pink Owl Kitchen about a year and a half ago. But I've just really got serious with it like a little less than a year ago.
Okay.
And I actually just redesigned like the entire website myself. So that was fun.
Oh wow. What are you
Yeah,
using?
I'm not,
Are
I
you using
use,
Wix?
it's a platform called, I use WordPress,
Okay, Word.
but I use a platform called Divi. I don't know if you heard of it, to redesign it. It's like yeah,
What
but I had to learn a
spell
lot. So
spell it? Divi?
Divvy.
Okay, because I always like to, if somebody wants to say, "Oh, I want to do that," if that help is helpful for you, then I'll put that in the show notes. So Divi, that helps you to
Oh,
design it.
yes, to
Okay,
design it.
all right,
It's
good.
it's a lot easier than doing it from scratch. Like they give you like kind of like an outline and stuff. So it wasn't that hard, but it did take some time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started the blog a year and a half ago, and the past year, ironically enough, when I stopped drinking, is like when I really
Imagine
got
that.
serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my husband actually was kind of like the driving force behind it, because working like desk jobs, office jobs, things like that, which I still do. Actually, I still have a full-time job, which my goal is to leave that job and the blog full-time this year, so I'm working
Okay.
towards that.
Yay.
But I always was unhappy. I felt like I wasn't fulfilled, and like I was just going through the motions. It didn't matter, if I switch companies, like 6 months within the job, I'm like, okay, that same feeling is back, like that feeling of emptiness, like something's missing.
You want
And
more.
yeah, yeah. And it was because I was not doing something that I liked to do, something that I was passionate about. And when my husband, he spoke to me, he was like, hey, I know you're not happy at this job. And it just seems to, no matter what company you work for, like 6 months in, you get that same feeling. So we've got to figure out a way for you to do something that makes you feel full, that makes you feel like you're doing something that you actually love to do, that you're passionate about. And he was like, babe, you're an amazing cook. You cook for the whole family. You've been doing it since I've known you. Like everyone tells you how great your food is. Why don't you do something with that? And I was like, my wheels started turning a little bit. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll do like catering or something like that. I tried that. I did one job and I was like, nope, that is not for me.
That isn't
Girl,
it.
it was so much work. And I was like, oh God, I can't do this.
Uh-uh.
Yeah. So, and then I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll start a blog. So I started the blog, and I started, taking pictures of my food and putting it on there, and just kind of like for fun. It wasn't
Right.
really a way for me to earn income, or I didn't really have like any big plans for it. And I started doing that. And then the past year is when I started getting like, a lot of people seeing me on Instagram, and like I started getting like big publications and stuff like that featuring my recipes and reposting my stuff. And I was like, okay, well, maybe this can actually like turn into something. So I've been putting a ton more effort into it, like learning about food photography, learning about recipe creation, and writing about food and things like that. So I've really, really, really stepped my game up. As far as those things, I've invested a lot in myself, taking courses, and I love to do it. Like, this is the one thing that I've done to where I feel like it's not work at all when I do it. Like, I can literally do it for like, on my feet creating recipes all day, and then I go straight to the computer and I'm blogging about them, and uploading my photos and editing my photos, and like, I don't feel like I've done work. Like, I may be doing this for like 12 hours straight, but I love to do it.
I love it.
So yeah.
That is the key. That is the key. And I always say that. I always, when I'm doing my podcast, I feel the same way. And because I write a podcast that I do on Mondays. And so I could sit for 10 hours and write one episode, just rewrite it to make sure it's the best that it can be. And when you're doing something like that you're passionate about, it comes out and it happens the way it should. So it evolves. And I love that you do that, because most people have something, I think most people have something that they're good at, that they're naturally good at.
Right.
And when they were a kid, they loved it. Or as they were growing up, like you had this passion for food and took it to a place that, now is fulfilling for you. And that is so beautiful. And it's exactly what wildly successful lifestyle means is, you're happy, you're passionate, you're doing what you love, and you don't feel like you're working. And on top of that, let's give kudos to your husband again, who sounds like a real, this guy.
He is, man. I hope, you get to meet him one day.
I would love to.
He's amazing.
Yeah, I think my husband is also that way. That's why I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. I mean, we have good husbands, which is, such a blessing, right?
A huge blessing.
Yeah.
Huge blessing.
Well, okay. So do you take your own photographs on that website?
Yes, I do.
Wow. They're so good.
If you go back and look when I first started, the photographs were freaking horrible. They were trash. Like, I didn't know what.
All right, I'm gonna go back and look and check it out. I don't believe that they were horrible, but I'm gonna go check it out because they're real good. The recent ones are real good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I've just
been
playing around with it and trying to, learn as much as I can.
Okay. All right. Well, it's working. Whatever you're doing, it's working. So do you come up with the recipes yourself, or you just create these? Okay. Oh my goodness. See, I don't cook. Like, I don't cook at all. I can make eggs.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's your passion. It doesn't have to be my passion. I just come to me. Of course, then looking at your website, I think I don't know how you're so fit because that food looks good.
I do like healthy remakes of stuff. Like, a lot of stuff at first glance, you'll look at the photo and you'll be like, gosh, that's got to be like super rich or super fattening. But I like to remix stuff, and I will create a healthy version on you, and you'll eat it and think you're eating the full fat thing and not even know.
All right. Well, I love that. So then how do you have like a process for posting your content? So, because you do post, do you post every day? Tell me about that.
Yeah. So to my blog, I do 2 to 3 new recipes a week. So that's, from start to finish creation, photographs and all that. But I try to post daily on my Instagram. A lot of times I'm recirculating stuff I've already published on my blog. But as far as recipe creation process, like, I'll think of something in my head and then I'll Google it, like, to see what other people have done. Like, has somebody else already created this exact recipe? And if there are a lot of people who have, then I try to tweak it a little bit to make it different. You don't want to put out get the recipe right and it's ready for the blog, then that's when I go into the blog writing process, editing the photos and all of that stuff. So it's definitely a process. Like, one recipe it can be like a several day up to a week process.
Wow. That's awesome though. I see, that's such a foreign world to me that you can just create something and it tastes good, because I have trouble, and I'm not like, I'm smart. Okay. I promise you I am. But even
I
if
know
I
you are.
follow a recipe, you know what, if you have to say that, like, really, you should question it. But, but no, I can follow a recipe and it still doesn't taste great. So I'll leave the cooking to you.
Okay,
So
well,
that's
sounds good.
okay. That's pretty awesome.
Hopefully one day I can, once all this stuff is over, I can cook for
No.
you.
Okay, I would love that. You have to do one of the healthy versions of it, though, I
Absolutely.
think. All right, so I saw that you have an ebook out to and it was kind of to celebrate your
Mhm.
1 year everything, right? Probably your 1 year
Yes.
being there, 1 year sobriety. So tell us about that, and how can we find it, all that good stuff.
Yes. So the ebook, I came out with it on February 9th of this year. It was my 1 year sober date. And it was kind of just like a celebration. It was a celebration of me actually, doing it, getting sober, 1 year sober. And then it was just me putting out something and something that I said I was going to do and actually putting it together and getting it out to the public. It was just like me proving to myself that I could do it. And the ebook is entitled Secret Ingredient Love, Charming Date Night and Family Dinner Night Recipes. And it features a dozen recipes. All are exclusive to the ebook. Some are geared toward date night, like stay at home date night. There are some recipes that are portioned specifically for two. And then there are also some that are geared toward family dinner night. So you've got some full portion recipes that you can make for your family and have, around the dinner table. And then I've also got a couple of bonuses in there, tips for creating like the perfect at home date night. Because I know a lot of people are missing going out to the restaurants and having that ambiance and like that romantic atmosphere. And you can create that right in your own dining room. So I've got some tips
Absolutely.
in there for that. And all of the recipes feature like full size, high quality images so that you know exactly what your finished recipe should look like. And I'm very proud of it. Hopefully one day I will have a printed cookbook. That's a dream of mine. But
You absolutely
um,
will. You
yes,
absolutely will.
I'm speaking it into
That's
existence. It
right.
will happen one day. So
I will be happy to buy that book. I assure you.
thank
Okay,
you.
so how do we find your ebook? Because that sounds like something. I mean, I think I would give it as a gift, even. I mean,
Oh,
that
thank you.
yeah.
So you can find it. It's literally like all over my website. If
Okay,
you go to pinkowlkitchen.com, there is a menu at the top, and you'll see e-cookbook in that menu. It's also on the home page. It's linked in every recipe page. And if you are on Instagram, you can go to my bio, and the link that is in my bio, it will have a direct link to the ebook as well.
and your Instagram. What is your Instagram, Ashley?
It is at the Pink Owl Kitchen.
All right. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go check that out. I follow you on Instagram already as it is. That's how I got to see all of your beautiful, and I did go check your website out. It is beautiful and it's very easy to use. So
Thank you so much.
that's wonderful. Congratulations on your 1 year sobriety. Congratulations on your ebook. You have so much going, and I'm
Thank
excited
you.
for you. I love, love, love this interview, and I can't wait. So, what do you see? Just real quick before I let you go, where do you see
Mhm.
yourself in 3 to 5 years? I mean, it sounds to me like there's a cookbook in the future. Where do
Yes.
you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? What's up next?
So 3 to 5 years, I see myself definitely, Pink Owl Kitchen will be my full-time thing. It will be my full-time career. And I see a cookbook deal within that time, a printed cookbook. I see you could possibly see some type of cookware lines, pots, pans, knives, things like
Love it.
that. Maybe even see me on television. I would love to do that. Maybe
Yep.
as a TV personality, some sort of cooking show, hosting or something like that. I would love to do that.
You
My
never know
biggest
what doors.
You never know. And my biggest inspiration right now is Joanna Gaines' new cooking show. Like I love that show. So
Oh,
I would be ecstatic if I could do something like that within the next 5 years. And I just think sky's the limit. I'm open to all possibilities. I keep my mind and my spirit open. So whatever God has for me, that's what will be.
that's right. That's absolutely right. You just follow every single door and they'll open continuously. So, well,
Thank
this has
you.
been spectacular. I love this. I loved it so much. And I thank you for coming on and
I
being.
thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so
Well,
glad you found me.
I am too. I am too. And I look forward to everything that you have coming up.
Thank you so much, Heidi. This has
Thank
really been a pleasure.
you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together. And I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.